While the Hurricanes board members are thrilled that they no longer have to deal with the possibility of a sale, they now have to figure out how they're going to fill another 1,500 seats per game so they can become profitable again. Now, regardless of which way the vote went, that was going to be an incredibly difficult task. David Opinko, CTV News Lethbridge. Departing with a dearly beloved toy is not something most kids would normally be excited about, but the students at Lakeview Elementary School are happy to do so if it means helping out those in need. There's going to be a lot to be excited for when Creepy Hollows opens its creepy doors. With over 6 times the space as the previous location, the Rhymers are expecting there to be a lot more than 6 times the scary.
One of the things the college is doing to adapt to new technologies is by using personal charging stations. Each charging station comes with several different connector pins, so you can charge just about any device on them. Over 2/3 of Hurricanes shareholders theoretically voted to sell the team, but the final verdict is that the team will not be sold. In order to get to the vote on whether or not to sell the team, 75% of shareholders had to agree to the motion. The Hurricanes board acknowledges that just about everyone who wanted to have the vote would have voted to sell the team. This has created a lot of confusion and frustration, not only for shareholders themselves, but for the community at large. Just a few of the responses to our Facebook post about the decision include Harold, who thinks the vote wasn't even necessary. Derek believes the club should have just asked the community what they wanted, since they're the ones who spend money on tickets. And Jacob says he won't even be doing that anymore. The fact that so many people are upset about the decision has the board worried and asking themselves whether or not they may have hit the nail in the coffin.
Say maybe we're disappointed because, that big of a number is against community ownership, or maybe not against it, but for private sale. Do you lose that support? Do you lose those guys buying season tickets? Are they leaving here frustrated, arms up, had our chance and it didn't go through?
While the Hurricanes board members are thrilled that they no longer have to deal with the possibility of a sale, they now have to figure out how they're going to fill another 1,500 seats per game so they can become profitable again. Now, regardless of which way the vote went, that was going to be an incredibly difficult task. David Opinko, CTV News Lethbridge.
Well, locally, one elementary school is doing its part to support the victims of the earthquake. David Opinko is at Lakeview Elementary School. And David, tell us more about what this school is doing.
Departing with a dearly beloved toy is not something most kids would normally be excited about, but the students at Lakeview Elementary School are happy to do so if it means helping out those in need. Close to 30 students flooded this room to find their next favorite toy. But it's not just about finding something cool to play with. Over the last week, students brought in hundreds of used toys to sell to their classmates. The funds raised go to the Canadian Red Cross. The whole event is being run by students for students. Organizers say it was a big hit when it was announced at their last assembly.
I said, does anyone have any used books or games that they're not using? And all the parents at the back put up their hand. It was pretty amazing. So the parents are excited we're doing this because it's a good way to clean the house, but it also goes to a good cause.
It feels good because then you're kind of helping somebody. I was kind of happy when we decided that we were going to do this.
The students are hoping to raise up to $2,000 this week, and the Canadian government is matching all donations. Ina?
The town said, no more. You can't create anymore. You can't build anymore. You can't grow anymore, and so this won't have that restriction.
A barrage of bureaucracy and neighbor complaints led to the Sterling Haunted Mansion, one of the town's main attractions, to close its doors. But the Reimer family didn't see this as a negative. In fact, it's given them the opportunity to start in a new location with new possibilities. There's going to be a lot to be excited for when Creepy Hollows opens its creepy doors. With over 6 times the space as the previous location, the Reimers are expecting there to be a lot more than 6 times the scary. And what would be scarier than visiting an old abandoned farm? This former agricultural hub has been deserted for the last 16 years and looks to be the perfect place for any horror movie. The family is looking to convert these old barns and grain bins into a murder mystery room and a new haunted mansion. But since they're building everything themselves, there's still a lot of work to be done before they're ready to start scaring the pants off of people.
The property was pretty run down, getting out of hand when we got it. It was like tree branches everywhere, grass growing wild. All the buildings were kind of losing all the roofs. We've found shingles all over far and wide, and we're still picking them up.
There's currently no official opening date for the new location, but the Rhymers are hoping to have at least some attractions ready to go by this summer. David Opinko, CTV News Lethbridge.
Nothing has changed quicker at Lethbridge College than technology. So quickly, in fact, that the institution sometimes struggles to keep up with advancements. The Buchanan Library, in particular, is shifting as much of its resources online as it can, since today's students don't read paper books that often anymore.
We've seen a huge shift in the last 10 years from, say, 95% of our circulation being paper books and 5% being students accessing online resources. That's completely shifted now.
One of the things the college is doing to adapt to new technologies is by using personal charging stations. Each charging station comes with several different connector pins, so you can charge just about any device on them. The Digital Communications and Media program has probably seen the biggest technological shift of all the college's programs. Formerly known as Communication Arts, the program aims to use new technology in the way today's industry does.
So things like using your phones now to shoot video and go and edit video rather than just watching it on the big screen or having to use a professional sized camera to shoot video. So it's more about utilizing the technology in ways that enhance learning.
Students say that technology in the classroom, like using laptops for taking notes, has both pros and cons.
If there's a lot of notes, then I'm usually too busy making sure I get most of them to be doing anything else. But if it's fairly light, yeah, I will distract myself.
In order to keep up with technology, the college is looking to upgrade its Wi-Fi and ensure students have easier access to computers. For eNews, I'm David Opinko.